Right now, we're joined by Richard Reid, former sales and marketing manager in the automotive industry. And he's here tonight to tell us about his journey into the channels and the dugouts and the wars and the experiences, as I will put it. Some of the things some of the things we actually went through. He's here to share his story with us tonight. And hopefully you will sit back, enjoy, and take it in as much as possible. So, Richard Reid, welcome. Glad to have you tonight.
Thanks for having me, sir. It's a pleasure to be on your program. To be one of the pioneers.
Well, I'm not there yet. Maybe my contribution will actually, bear fruit later on down the line. Maybe when we're dead and gone, people will remember us. But for now, local heroes go unrewarded. But first, introduce yourself. Let us know exactly what your history, how you started out into the business.
Sure. Well, I've been in sales and marketing and public relations for nearly 21 years. So after I left the great Kingston College, I went to university and I did history politics. I had no idea if I would go into auto sales or into marketing, but that thing named student loan, I want to pay it off. So I grabbed the first opportunity.
Yes. In North America here, it is known as student debt. So
that's right.
Yeah, man. It follows you for the rest of your life.
And because I didn't want that to continue until I was very old, I jumped at the first job. Unfortunately for me, it was with a used car dealership. So I spent 6 years at different dealerships. First at that pre-owned one, then to a new car dealership, Peugeot, and if I can call it brands, Peugeot, Yamaha bikes, Daewoo, and then afterwards was SsangYong, that partnership. Then
hold on, Richie, you're calling some names that a lot of people may not be aware that those brands existed, So SsangYong and Daewoo, what are Korean brands?
Peugeot is a French brand of the Lion, still quite active.
Yes, in Europe, yes.
Maybe not so much in North America or any at all in North America, but in Europe, that's a staple all over Europe. Yes. With Daewoo is a Korean brand. It's not operational now. I think they had a partnership, or Chevrolet bought them or something like that. But Yamaha bikes is still very much active.
Yeah.
So those that took me about 6 years between those dealerships. Then I took a different route, went into other industries, went into the construction material business, windows and all of that. Then went back to the car business now in the new car segment, and that's in management. So I dealt with Jaguar, Land Rover, Subaru, Ford at KIG.
Yeah.
And I also, because of my experience at the other places with Yamaha bikes at Island Motors, I did the business plan and got the Yamaha bike brand for KIG. Right.
Okay,
and then I lost for the brand.
Okay,
and
so you were the one who was instrumental in getting the Yamaha brand for KIG.
Yes. And I was familiar with the whole system, the whole ordering, and of course I could ride bikes. And when I was at the former place, I clocked a lot of sales. And all of the sales jobs that I've had, I have excelled at them. So giving thanks for that. So that helped me to put the plan together, formulate several meetings with the Japanese stakeholders. The principals came down and I instilled confidence in them, and we have the brand.
Right.
So after KIG, there was Kia Motors. I helped them. Quite an interesting time there, I must say. And then I've gone into broadcasting. So of my nearly 21 years in sales, half of that time has been at varying positions in the auto industry.
Okay.
But right now, although I'm in media, I'm also a consultant at a pre-owned dealership as well. So using up the experience still.
Well, of course, the experience the experience never leaves. And
Yes.
for most of our viewers, our listeners, KIG is the official dealer and distributor for Ford, Subaru, Jeep,
Mm-hmm.
Yamaha, and Motorcraft
Mm-hmm.
batteries in Jamaica.
Motorcraft. I was also instrumental in setting up the Motorcraft batteries because as I got the Yamaha dealership, I went across the island, several trips right across the island looking for sub dealers. And so what I did was, as well as the Yamaha bikes, the Motorcraft came in at the right time. So I basically twinned them and I set up 10 to 12 dealerships island wide,
Right.
everyone selling the Yamaha bikes and the Motorcraft batteries.
Batteries,
So
yes.
I have a little of the parts experience, you know,
Of
not as
course.
vast as you, but yes, very important. You have to have the parts, you know.
Yes. It's yeah, very important, instrumental. As you know, after sales service is key for maintaining customer
Mhm.
retention in any stratosphere of the dealership. But
Definitely.
let us delve some more because I mean, with that wide range of experience it just reeled off to us. I mean, must have been a challenge to navigate so many brands all at once.
Yes. So so as a result, you have to have different marketing plans, different plans of action for different demographics.
Yes.
Because if at KIG we had, well, at the height of KIG's success, we had the Land Rover, Range Rover. So that demographic is very high end.
Yes.
Therefore, you have to cater to that. Then we had the Ford, solid brand that had an appeal to all kinds of pockets. Subaru now is more outdoor kind of a person who wants to have a rugged all-time four-wheel drive, you know?
Yeah.
Can work around in town, but then on the weekends, no, he can go out, you know?
Yes.
Right. So it was quite a task, but I was up to it, and we were in all of the brands. We were at varying times in the top three within the Caribbean in terms of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Subaru, yes. Subaru's a very powerful brand. It actually
yes,
does exceptionally well right across the world. And to have that
yes,
in Jamaica going up against the more traditional brands, as you know, the Toyotas, the Nissans, the Hondas,
yes.
So for you to maintain a presence in that tight market must have been some well done work, as I may say. But during your time, how did operations change since you worked in the industry? What were some of the changes you witnessed?
I might not be as active in the new car segment, obviously, because I've changed industries, but
Right.
I still keep my ear close to the ground. I know what's going on to an extent. I would think that there's more focus now on, it's more customer centric. Why? Obviously, we're going through a pandemic, and you have to ensure that you meet the customer's needs. Obviously, the customer don't want to come to you because of the fears of this whole social distancing and a virus is going on.
Right.
So what I've been noticing now is that the dealerships are much more accommodating. Gone are the days when the sales executives can say, "Oh, I should expect customer traffic in the showroom now. So let me sit down here and visit." No, it doesn't work like that. You
Yes,
go there and
I
live
remember
the
those
business.
days. Yeah, they just sit down at the desk and the customer traffic will just
Yes,
walk in. So they were more
you have
like
to go there now.
order takers than sales
Oh,
reps.
that's
Yeah.
exactly,
That's the right word. Yeah.
No, you have to go with your mask, your sanitizer, you go with your sales pitch, you go with the car, you carry a brochure, you go out of it. You have to go above and beyond
Yes.
because there are so many attractive alternatives out there now. So you have to make a good first impression
Yeah.
and go there. And so that's the first thing that I've noticed now, that the sales execs go out of their way, Secondly, there's more of a reliance on social media, information technology.
Yeah.
Again, I have to go back to the pandemic. People are very scared. People are staying more at home. They don't want to drive out, walk out, take bus and go to any dealership.
Right.
So you have to ensure that through social media, whether on a radio, you direct them to go to our social media page. And so now you find that all of the sites are now updated, current.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, I messaged one of the dealerships. And within 5 minutes, I got an answer. I said, yeah, man, it shouldn't be that it's a pandemic, make it be so responsive. It
Yes,
should
yes.
always be like that. You
Yeah.
know?
Uh-huh.
So those are the two main changes I've seen from that time when I was at the new dealerships a couple years
Yes.
ago as to compared to now.
Right,
And it's a
right.
welcome change. It's a welcome change. And also, okay, another thing too is that even with the parts delivery, parts can be delivered to you now.
Really?
Because of the technology now, you
Yeah.
just put in your figures and so you pay for it and so. And they say, where are you? And they go and deliver and that's
Yes.
very important.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
as I've said to you some years ago that selling the new cars, yes, that was my forte, but that is gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the money is made from the parts.
From the parts, yeah, and
With
service, parts
Yamaha
and
bikes,
service,
with
yeah.
Yamaha bikes, I had to convince my general manager after we got the Yamaha dealership. Say, look here, don't worry about these margins on these bikes, because you see, when these, whoever it is, bearers, young riders, all of these people, when they ride the bike and then get comfortable, some going wheelie, some going lick it up, and what is the parts that make the money? And
Yes,
so said,
yes.
so done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
man.
of a lot of
Parts make the
dealerships
money.
back in the days, they never saw the need for after sales service because they were very sales focused. They were concentrated more on the
That's sad.
cars.
That's sad.
Yeah.
They have to look at it holistically.
Mm-hmm.
It's one body. You can't be so insular and say, oh, sales department should just listen. Everybody have to work together.
Yeah.
Now, when I was at KIG and Kia, whatever cars I order, the codes and whatever, I have to liaise with the parts department, So they
Right.
have to do a projection to say, well, the typical person will need to get service at that point. So we need the service parts. We're going to need that. So at each point of the life of the car, they can have a projection and say, well, we're going to need those parts and so forth. So it's very important. You can't
Yeah.
operate in a
Because
vacuum,
yeah,
you
it's
know?
funny. It's funny you mentioned that because that was a thing. That was something that was one of the biggest challenge amongst the many challenges that we had working in the industry back then. Because you will see new cars coming in inside the showroom or a launch is taking place, and there's no parts available. Mechanics are not trained to know exactly what technical difficulties may arise, right? What the warranty processes were, and all these things. So to fast forward to now, I mean, I think people working in the industry right now have it easy based on where we're coming
What we
from.
went through and
Yeah,
what we made noise about.
yes, yes,
And there have
yes.
been improvements. Because guess what now? The new dealerships realize that if they don't stock up on those parts, that going to leave a void there that the aftermarket parts going to take up.
Yeah. And there was
So
a
a man going to set
huge
up right
there was
beside
a
you and say,
huge
oh,
aftermarket mark, we don't call it no industry, a huge
yes, yes,
after part market parts industry
mhm,
back then. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
So you have all
And
these guys now.
you don't want money leaking from the back end. You don't want that. So as a proper dealership, you have to ensure that there's a balance. And you have all of the departments firing.
Yeah.
You're going to miss out on opportunities and money,
Yeah. Yeah, it has certainly changed now for the better because they see the reason to stock up on the parts, have the necessary technicians trained, and then focus on after sales service. It was strange that when I came here, not to interject and to talk too much in during your section, but it was
No,
strange
man.
when I came here in North America, even some of the managers who were in charge at particular brands and models and things, they didn't even know what absorption rate was. Right?
Really?
It was sad. Yes, people working here in the dealership,
Wow.
but I mean, it's another story anyway. But I'm happy that
Is it that some markets have different nuances, different challenges? How come they don't know that? But
the
don't figure in an industry, those things are set. That's constant. They should have an idea what that is about.
The thing is, it goes right back to training and the human resources management process, right?
Yeah.
You're hiring persons to fill a space, to fill a we don't call it no, just to have a slot. If you to fill a vacancy, but you just basically need numbers to get the product moving, or a sales manager, or you need a parts manager, or you need a service manager. That's basically what you're doing. But you just grab someone based on, based on their service history or work history, but not necessarily the experience that they come with. How should they add value to the dealership itself?
That's one of the biggest challenges now. Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of the phrases and the jargons, they have no clue or idea what they are, right? When you're sitting down to I sat down with a general manager couple just over like 3 years ago, and when I start talking about the KPAs and the KPIs and the CRUs and all these things, he had no idea what I was talking about. Like I said, it's a total different thing. But it goes right back to what you're saying. It's a problem now within the industry, because the experienced persons, individuals like yourself, like myself, are no longer in the industry.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you raised a very valid point. You're just filling spaces, and the career that me and you were going now is not their career of choice. They jump into it because it is there, and they hope to just glide along or learn as they go along.
Yeah.
They didn't prepare for it.
Right. And then the HR department.
When I first went into sales and auto sales, all of those years, I spent 2 years at IMP doing marketing, diploma in marketing 1 year, diploma in public relations. And one very important point is always remember you have to upgrade yourself.
Yes, at all times. Yeah.
You want to be good at what you're doing. You need to constant training, whether it's internally within the company or externally at these institutions. Invest in yourself. Well, a lot of these youngsters now, they don't see the use of doing that.
No.
But I feel I need to train myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Either reading books, attending seminars. What they do, they wait on the company to train them, and that is why the HR departments now, they're having problems now trying to fulfill the competency profile of a particular individual or employee within the company, right? So it is a big challenge. It is a big challenge. But the another line of question is what were some of the strategies used? I know you actually mentioned some of them earlier about parts delivery.
Yes, I realized that I've gone ahead.
Yeah, I realize you're going ahead, but it's not. That's basically what I want to hear, because I mean, you have the ideas, you have the experiences. So
I think most of us are familiar with the industry. So as the points come to us, we just jump into it.
We just jump right into it. Of course. They don't make them like us anymore. No, I can unequivocally tell you that, right? But go right ahead, jump right into it.
But before we go to that though, each market is different. You're in North America, we're out here, totally different set of challenges.